Kathy Maher is here to testify.
Right. So let's go into the public hearing then, and we'll open it up. Kathy, would you like to be the first speaker? Just if you state your name and address to the record.
Kathy Maher, 96 Bull Road in Cornish. So as most of you know, our neighbor put up a gate in July, blocking mine and my sister's access to our homes. There were no red flags. We all have the same written deeds. We got a building permit, mortgages, and title insurance with no problems. We tried to go through the town when things got heated. We went to many town meetings, and the town refused to get involved. We contacted the MMA, and I believe you were given the wrong information. So we had to go back to our lawyers. In July, our lawyers' fees were $17,000. We filed a claim with our title insurance company, and they provided us with a lawyer. But the lawyer is contracted by the insurance company, so our say in all of this is minimal. We went to mediation. The paperwork is not yet finalized, but our neighbor is going to get a rather substantial sum of money from the title insurance company, which is horrifying to me. The road maintenance expenses will be split among us as well. Initially, our neighbors didn't even want us to be able to walk down the road that we live on. And then they relented. But as long as we don't dawdle in front of their house, we had to walk with force. We had to walk with force. We couldn't look at their house. So, which is in the agreement. Also in the agreement is that coming down my road, we have to go 15 miles an hour, then 10 miles an hour in front of their house, and then we can go back to 15 miles an hour. 15 miles an hour is a school zone, and my road is a dirt road. You cannot even go more than 20 miles an hour on my road. Roberta can attest to that. Another crazy thing. The whole thing is ridiculous. Again, our deeds all say the same thing. So in mediation, we said to our lawyer, how can this happen? And he told us he's been doing this type of work for 40 years. More or less get with the program. Because he said he was contracted to get us access to our homes. And this is how he was doing it. So so he said, either go with what he's doing, or we're going to lose all of our equity in our homes and we won't be able to get to our homes. So on that note, I believe this is not a civil issue. I still think it's a town issue. And when I called Pete, he was the head of all the local roads in the state of Maine, and he refers me to Roberta, there's something wrong with that. And our neighbor shouldn't benefit financially from this. And when I tell you a big sum of money, they're getting a big sum of money. It's ridiculous. So to me, you guys have talked about emergency legislation. This to me is an emergency legislation. Our lives are still not normal, and they will never be normal. Not under these conditions. And I'm hoping that some of this legislation goes in 2024 and not 2025. Also, I've talked to my state rep, senators, tried to talk to the governor. Nobody wants to touch this issue. My state rep initially did, and then he backed way off. So it's just a horrible thing. I think everybody in the state of Maine should know what type of a road they live on and should be able to go home.
I just want to remind everybody that this is a public hearing on the draft legislation. And quite frankly, I sympathize with all those individual issues, but I'm not here to hear those stories today. I'm here to hear comments about the draft legislation. And if we're not going to stick to the agenda, I'm not going to be part of the meeting.
Duly noted, Brian. Thank you. Do we have another speaker today?